Here we are over here at the Hydro Gear service desk, and we're going to get some Hydro Gear SmarTec information, and let's go ahead and get started. Here we are again at, I believe this is Hydro Gear, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, who are you gentlemen? Y'all know anything about Hydro Gear?
Sam, how you doing?
Sam, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm Max Hughes, MaxsGarajMahal.
Nice to meet you, Max. We met last year.
Yeah, we did. We did. So we're still doing that world land speed record attempt with a Hustler Super Z this time.
Oh yeah.
So and we appreciate you guys working with us. And we're still trying to kill these things. Of course, you know people out there trying to kill your product every day, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So we also wanted to make sure that we prove the Hydro Gear is one of the best products on the market by bringing our Hydro Gear here. As you can see, it has a pump seal right here. Can you see it below that cap? All right. So let's talk about the real McCoy. So what's new for Hydro Gear this year?
Electric products.
That's what we want to talk about. We actually tested the SmarTec yesterday, and we were really impressed with it. It's really smooth off of idle, I'm going to say. So your speed controller is working really well, and the motor is not acting so much like a step motor. So let's talk about that. Take me over and let's show me what you got. Excuse me, I'm sort of behind the scenes here, aren't I? All right. Oh, and you got the wheels in this one.
Correct. So we've got the easy TV drive. Those are the traction drive. And we've got the two traction controllers here.
So that now we can see these under glass. All right.
Those two traction controllers are what's going to control those traction drives.
Point down there so the people that's watching this can really tell which part is which. So
So these are the traction controllers here.
All right. Two uppers, and then in the center are your
deck.
So each control.
If you look on this system, it has 3 deck motors.
Okay.
So there's going to be 1 deck controller for each deck motor.
So you're going to have 1 control each motor.
Correct.
So if you've run into a heavy clump of something, it will allow that to decelerate, recelerate without losing speed with the mower itself.
Correct.
Okay, good. I want to make sure we get everybody to understand these electrics, because everyone doesn't do electrics.
Right.
And those that may be considering it in the future, I think your SmarTec is going to really take us into the electric.
I agree. I mean, we spent a lot of time trying to perfect the system, and we wanted to emulate a hydraulic counterpart. And actually, this drives even better, because not only is it driving as well as some of our hydraulic mowers out there on the market, but also it's quiet.
It is very quiet, and I was really, really surprised. Look, I'm going to put my face on the camera and say this. I was really surprised at just how smoothly this thing comes off of dead stop, and as you go into forward movement, this thing is really, really smooth.
It is.
I promise you.
It is.
I mean, I've tested some others, and including the old Hustler Xeon, and this is so much. Night and day. I ain't kidding you. All right, so as far as the battery system on this thing, yesterday it was stated that it was 48 volt, but it's actually a 58 volt battery. Correct?
Yeah, that's what it's rated. Yeah,
right.
But it's 48 volt system basically.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. But I just want to make sure that was said by you, not by me. So,
yeah.
Okay. Because when I show the battery and it says 58 volt, I want people to understand it. It's actually a 48 volt system.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So then the one you have here in the middle, that's going to be the vehicle integration module, and that's going to store a lot of different things like wheels, radius. It's going to store weight of the mower. It's also going to store parameters, and that's going to really be what is known as the brain of the system. So all of the communicating modules, it's going to go to that VIM first before sending out another input. So.
Okay, so now, Max being Max, and David and I and you guys working with this world land speed record attempt, at some point, we're going to do that with electric, don't you?
Oh, really?
We're going we're going to get you to send us our prototype here. Okay. We're going to take it apart, beat the hell out of it, and make it be a 72 volt or some crap like that. I can see this thing doing 20 mile an hour. Just,
really?
you know, be careful.
Yeah.
But anyway, so basically overall, it operates pretty much from the time the operator mounts the machine, pretty much like a piston-powered system as far as turning on the switches, engaging the clutches, and so to speak, or the PTO switch over here basically is an on-off switch. Because I mean, electric, it's on or it's off.
Right. So when you get on the mower, the VIM is going to be looking for certain inputs before you can actually start.
Seat switch.
Seat switch.
It's going to make sure we're out in park.
Correct. Brake is on.
Brake
just
is
like a regular mower.
Right. So it's going to look for blade engagement. It's going to look for weight on the seat. It's going to look. It's going to make sure that that operator has got everything in safety mode before they'll engage.
And if and one of those inputs aren't being met, you're not going to be able to start the mower.
Right. Right. So now, as far as in field, with this system in the center here, which is looking for all of these safeties. Let's say down the road, either 30 minutes from now, because you're going to have something's going to happen for the manufacturer, depending on who puts your system together. Could have a bad solder joint, could have a bad strain relief. How do these people out in the field resolve the problem? How do they analyze the problem?
So this system, and obviously you're right, there are going to be some differences when
you're going to have a glitch here and there, right?
Right. But on the initial launch of this system, it's going to all go through our SmarTech Connect app at a dealer. So from an end user standpoint, they're going to have very minimal access in terms of trying to troubleshoot the machine. They'll be able to see the inputs and see if one of those aren't being met.
Will it have some sort of some manufacturers, because you can't talk for all of them, will some of them have like a code system that'll flash to tell you that they recognize it's having a problem, because you already know it's having a problem, it's not going.
Yeah. No, so this is all going to be handled from the dealer in terms of real troubleshooting of the system. I mean, the end user will be able to see like basic things, like I said, we talked about the inputs, if those aren't being met. But any serious troubleshooting of the system, initially that's all going through the dealer on what we call our SmarTech Connect app. Have you familiarized
Actually, I saw it yesterday just for a moment. I didn't actually get to see the app, but he engaged it, put it in medium speed for me, and
no. So that's MyMo. So there's two apps.
Okay.
So MyMo is actually going to be the end user app. So that's what you as a consumer, if you bought the Mower, would have access to.
Okay.
Exactly. So the SmarTech Connect is going to be the dealer app.
Okay.
So they're going to have a lot more access, like I said, to a lot of the variables that goes into troubleshooting the system itself. And that's done on purpose. We're kind of putting this in the market. We want to make sure that it's in the hands of people that can handle all those situations. And so, making the SmarTech Connect app basically is giving the dealers some support, make them feel like, listen, we as Hydro Gear, we're here to help you, and because that's the big thing, right? People are a little skeptical.
Well, of course they are.
Right,
especially with the Xeons of past and some other electrics that failed.
Exactly.
But they didn't fail so much as a machine overall. I think it was better technology and support wasn't there.
Right, exactly. And that's what we really wanted to focus on and hone in, is how can we give these dealers all of the things they need to be successful? Because, we can put a great product out there, but it's really the support that people are going to, talk about years on end. If I had an issue,
how to bring them into the future.
Exactly.
Okay, now let me ask you this about that particular app for the dealer. Now, I understood yesterday that, let's say, we have someone that's mowing Pacific time, and they're mowing at 7 o'clock at night because it's still bright till 11 o'clock.
Okay.
All right? Their dealer obviously closed at 4:30 p.m. So you and I both know that app is not going to work for that dealer, because he's not going to be looking at it at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So do you have, because I'm leading you somewhere here.
Sure.
On this app, I understand there is factory support via that app.
Copilot. Yep.
The Copilot. Okay, so talk about that if you would.
So the Copilot really, and that's something we kind of figured, okay, what's another element that we can add to this? If, I as a dealer went through the Hydro Gear training, and I'm still having some issues. So basically Copilot is what allows us to co-browse on the app with the dealer. So let's say they have an issue, they can go into the co-pilot, they give us a number, they call us and they give us the number, and then we can remote into their phone and actually write on the app. We can also go and press different buttons on the app, show them where things are. So it's just another element of, you know, facilitating, you know, good service. And if they have any questions, sometimes it's better to actually visualize it, you know, with someone on the phone showing you on the app rather than maybe me walking.
Okay, so myself as a dealer, I contact you, SmarTec,
Right.
and you as SmarTec take over my phone, and I'm connected to that person's machine, and you can then analyze that back to your company to make sure that what I see as a dealer and have failed to recognize. Am I clear? I mean,
Right.
is that right?
Yeah, I mean, because you may have a question, you may just not know where to go, or maybe it's a navigation
I may be going
issue.
the wrong direction.
Right, it might be a navigation issue. There's various things, but yes. And I do want to say this. So it's only the SmarTec Connect app. So when I remote in, I can't go to your messages and you know, all those things. It's only the SmarTec Connect app. But yeah, I mean, it's just another layer of I don't know where to go. I think I'm supposed to be here. I'm not sure. We can just go ahead and make sure that you're looking at the right things, going through the right process.
Right. Okay, I want to make sure the viewers understand that if the dealer is also looking at that more, and then he needs to go through, and myself as a dealer, you're not going to go in there and try to take care of my girlfriend's messages. And
So I
stuff.
can.
Correct.
So, and yeah,
that's what I want to say.
right.
I want them to understand it, because there's a lot of people not even looking at electrics yet, but we know they're going to, especially in California.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I mean, you're right, and that's kind of setting the precedence for a lot of states, you know, close by, and they're starting to kind of fall in line with a lot of those different things.
Exactly.
So
okay. Well, Sam, I appreciate that, and walk me through what this actual unit. Sure, you have them. Yeah, you have them right over here, right? So let's take a look at those and give me a look at the various models.
we work.
All right. Now this would be the.
This is
going to
launch.
be the entry line right
Correct,
here, which is like the EZT.
EZT.
Okay. And so this is really the same thing as it would be equal to the EZT under a dash, Hustler dash.
Light grade residential.
Okay.
And so we've got the mechanical components here in the housing. You've got your bowl gear. You've got your reduction gears.
And this is all the gearing here inside this particular.
Correct.
This is your planetary.
Correct.
And this is going to be the drive motor.
Correct.
Your park gear. Your
brake.
Yeah, the brake. And this
Quick
guys,
snap connector.
And I was going to talk about that. And this is coming over here, and this is the controller we showed them over there a while ago on the frame. Traction controller or speed control. Electronic speed control, as people are used to remote control over the years. Okay.
Well, the reason I think I say traction controller is because there's various microprocessors in it, so it's a little bit more than just that. But yeah, I guess for them to understand in simple terms.
And I'm trying to make sure that people that would go for this are the people that's done other electric processes, trimmers, drills.
Right.
They understand it as electric speed control, which is a trigger. And this is basically, this is going to the levers, into some of that electronics that's giving this input to it's telling me to go. And I'm this puppy here.
Yeah, so what you'll have here is this will have a power source, obviously, and then you'll have what is a CAN connection. Are you familiar with the CAN bus? I don't know if we went over that.
No, we didn't. I would like you to cover it. I want to cover everything.
Okay, so yeah, so everything in this system is communicating via CAN communication, basically. A lot of your viewers are probably familiar with it. I mean, it's been used. It's a well-known technology.
Now remember, you're talking to them.
Right.
You know, I know you and I are talking, but I want you to talk to these people.
Sure.
Because these are people that you're going to have to sell for your OEMs.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So it's all going through the CAN bus, and we didn't get to look at it, but if we can actually look at it real quick.
Excuse us, please.
Go into limp mode or slow it down.
Yeah, so if you look here, all these are CAN cables. So that's how the communication of it is going. And then this centerpiece here is what we call the MoNet hub. So that's kind of the centralized location of where all that communication is taking place. So as you can see, this has the two cables there.
Right.
Positive
you can see the inputs over there.
Positive and negative lead. and then you've got the CAN communication,
which is coming around here and heading back into
the Monad hub.
To the Monad hub. And then from the Monad hub over to your brain.
Right, to the VIN. To the VIN.
To the VIN, right. So it's really actually simpler than people want to make it.
It is.
Do you agree? I mean,
it is.
I realized until I started doing the electrics in the late 80s, early 90s, it really was difficult for me because I'm not an electronics engineer, and basically by saying that is, quite honestly, when I speak about electronics, it would just throw me because I just couldn't wrap my brain around it originally. But as you learn it slowly on your own, you really do understand it better than you do if you do a lot of book, because you just turn off when you try to read that stuff with a book if you're not inclined. And I thoroughly was not inclined. I wanted to do it, but I just didn't want to learn it, you know?
Right.
Okay, so the other models over here, they're basically just taking you up they're just basically taking us up into the heavier machines.
Yeah, sure. We can walk that nice
Sure.
Yeah, if you look across the line there, as the numbers go up.
So this was the old Hustler Fast Track years ago, and the gasoline model would be a 2200. And then it came up, then we went to and I'm using Hustler, I apologize.
Sure.
We're using Hustler in it for the Raptor series, and the SDs were 2800s. Then you went up to the 3100s, which would be the Fast Track, and equivalents in other brands.
Yeah, so this is entry-level commercial. This is going to be like your estate level.
Okay.
Right, and then this is going to be like
just a personal residential home.
Right,
something like that, where they're not covering 4 or 5 acres at a time.
Correct.
And this is going to take you up into light commercial, so that you're covering 2 to 3 acres at a time.
Yeah. And then the 3400E is going to be
this is getting serious.
That's your commercial level, exactly. That is the beginning of our
And it technically is going to be heavier planetary gears, a little heavier housing appears, and then a much larger motor, and the speed controller is much thicker, which means we have more going on inside that thing. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, those are still in development, but I mean, essentially what you're trying to see here is the system is just going to get more robust as you go up the line. You know, the gears are going to get more robust. I mean, you're going to have a larger motor, you know, for more current. So, yeah, I mean, it's really to kind of convey to your viewers, it is a very simple system when you think about it. You know, I mean, all the modules, like I said, they communicate on the CAN bus system, and they're doing some sort of job and then sending a message.
All right, let's say that I've got one out here in the field. What is it I can do to put such a test on it that the viewers can see that I can't even hurt it? What would it be? 4-foot grass. Because we ain't trying to kill the motors on the deck, although you're selling the motors on the deck. But if that hits a rock, it's going to stop momentarily and restart anyway, so killing that's going to be difficult. I want to kill these to make sure that people know that I can't kill it. So, what would I have to do to hurt it?
Well, I'd like to say,
because I know you've tried it. And I know you've tried it. You're a manufacturer.
Not personally. I'd like to say we definitely don't want to kill these.
No, you don't. But you want to make sure that people can't kill them. That's the idea.
Agreed. And what people have to understand with these systems too is you want to make sure you're buying the right one.
The size for the job.
Exactly. I mean, you know, in terms of overworking them, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, we do that stuff, you know, just to have some gauge of how it's going to perform.
Right. And then where I'm going with this, you have test facilities.
Of course.
Yeah. I work with people that are the test facility. And that's the end user that's buying your product.
Yeah.
And you want to get your product out there in front of a vast majority of them. How do you do that? You put some idiot like myself out there with the product, and we go out there and cut normal stuff, but then once in a while we're going to say, let's go up that hill cutting grass. And that hill ain't made to go up to cut grass. You're supposed to go down it. I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
So, and I may go over to fairgrounds. I've struck a deal yesterday with a Mower company, and we're going to go out and cut some 9-foot reeds with it. So I'm going to hurt it if I can. He says I can't.
You said you can?
He says I can't.
He's testing you. I don't know.
I'm testing him, so that's you know, if I'm going to help him sell his product, I want to know that if I say it's a good product, I don't lie to anybody.
agree.
So I throw them on front ends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see that with these products as well. Just like our hydraulic products, we take time and we take a lot of effort into making sure we're making the best on the market.
Okay, now who do you have? I hate to have you call a name. Who do you have out here that has anything larger than this entry level? Because that's what I've seen here at the show.
You'll see a couple people that are showcasing, the 2800B, but
no one's really stepped up yet and going heavy duty.
Yeah, a lot of these are still in development. So,
okay, all right, yeah, that's what I wanted to veer to learn is whether or not they have, if they can come out here and get this motor and that drive ready to go on a full-fledged commercial mower.
Yeah, so, and if you kind of want to gauge, you can kind of go to some of the other booths. There may be a few others that have it in their booth. So you might be able to go and actually see some systems that are actually bolted up.
Sure.
And actually, I don't know if you've been outdoor as well.
Oh yeah, I was out there yesterday, and I actually tested the SmarTec as I said earlier.
Okay.
And I was really, really surprised because the claim you made is they're smooth.
Yeah.
From the go. And
exactly.
I've already ridden several, and they normally aren't because they're like step motors.
Right.
And this brushless motor is just really, it's like running your finger through hot butter. It's just smooth as can be.
Exactly.
Well, Sam, I really do appreciate it. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
And hopefully we'll get you out there in the field together with us when we're trying to destroy one of these things. What do you think?
I don't know about this.
Or I have to put that. I have to put that back on David, I guess.
Yeah.
One of the engineers.
Maybe
okay.
So. Did you talk to David yesterday?
I saw him yesterday, and his beautiful wife and a beautiful little baby girl, and they were headed outside, and I don't think they got very far because they weren't letting the children out into the test area. So, and I hated that for them.
Oh,
but still, you got to take care of the children, make sure they don't get under something. So that was a great thing. But it's good to see you all here, and I'm glad that you're doing such a great job. And once again, I have personally tried to harm the 21cc pumps and the wheel motors. I guess I'm getting too old to hurt these things anymore, but it is standing up now. I did rebuild the motor, the pumps, and as I told you earlier and showed you earlier, I've got a seal on my water bottle just to keep the leaks down. So the Hydro Gear products work.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Once again,
right.
thank you, sir.
No,
I appreciate
problem.
the interview.
No
Thank you.
Yep.